I want to open up by thanking those of you that are here, those of you that have lent your support through the years, those of you that are new supporters, and to thank especially our honoree who has undertaken the painful privilege of helping support what TI does. Rabbi Backrack today sent me a census because I needed to complete some documents for the Higher Learning Commission. People ask me how many students are enrolled at TI. And I say, oh, between 100 and 120, more or less. Turns out I misspoke by 50%. Last couple of years, we've had from the lowest of 209 to 257 students pursuing credit courses. Sometimes you lose sight. Forget about how it is, I guess. My grandmother used to say, "Mitzelt nicht." You don't count, right? Somebody once used to ask her how many children she has. She says, why, you're offering to support them? So I'm offering to support them. And so I can share with you those numbers. V'kein yirbu. And each one of them is a gem. Each one of them is a gem that we are hoping to help polish and put in a proper setting so that she can shine as much as she possibly can. I won't bore you with too much. I want to share just a small thought. This upcoming Shabbos will be Parshas Zochel, right before Purim. I don't want to get maudlin. I'm sure you're aware that yesterday we had primaries. I think you know the precarious situation of the world. You've probably heard about the Pew reports. America has become even less religious. The number of Jews that are unaffiliated has become ever greater. And the Pew Report tells us that harassment of Jews reached a 7-year high globally. Not a pretty picture, is it? For some of us who are old enough and who read literature, it's beginning to feel like the 1930s all over again. And you wonder, do we cut and run? What do? We fight. But I was over at my children's house. My son-in-law shared with me a Haggadah for Pesach. He says this is the Haggadah that is his favorite. He uses it. He is the grandson of survivors. So I opened it up, and it started with a story not about Pesach, not about Purim, but about Chanukah. It's recorded in several books, including, I believe, in Yafa Eliach's book. The Blujever Rebbe told that when he was in Bergen-Belsen, he and several of the other inmates gathered whatever margarine they could, and they collected them over a while until the night of Chanukah there was enough to light one candle. And he stood there, and around him were all of the men in the block. And he made the first bracha. Asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu le'adlik ner shel Chanukah. He then made the second bracha, which seemed more like a prayer. She'asa nisim la'avoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. The same God that made miracles in those days will Emilz Hashem do it again for us this days. He will do it again. It was a prayer. But then he shuckled a lot and had a hard time saying the third bracha. And he looked around and was a bit embarrassed. And he said, Shehechiyanu v'kiyimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. thanking God for bringing us, for keeping us alive to this day. A Bundist behind him, who was a declared atheist, turned and says, "You don't believe a word of that bracha, do you? How can you thank God for bringing us to what? To Muslims here who've seen their families wiped out. How can you thank us?" He says, "Oh, you missed the point. For me to see all these Jews who gave up their little bit of margarine, collected it so we could light candles, for them to all stand here and have sacrificed as much as they did to still be Jews. Shehechiyanu v'kiyimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh." How lucky we are to have lived to see Jews who've embraced, Jews who chose to be Jews, Jews who decided that what was put on us as a symbol of shame and humiliation is our pride. Jews who could say, "Shelo asani goy," and mean it, and recognize that if we've been chosen, it's because our battle is a battle against darkness and light, goodness against evil. It may not be politically correct, but we're the chosen people. The students that come to TI have embraced this. This is not about practical. This is not about a vocational choice. This is about an affirmation of who they are. These are people who are embracing their heritage of the past, the legacy, and the destiny of the future. These young women will ensure the next generation and the next generation ad biat goel tzedek, and will do so proudly. And they won't do so as victims. They will do so as heroines. And that's what TI is about. And that's what Linda is about. Thank you.